Well, hello, and welcome to the In a Flash, The Years Go By podcast, where the Vernon, Texas High School class of 1982 alumni come home to tell the stories that shaped us long after we left the halls of VHS. I'm Ray Gerald, and every episode I have the privilege of visiting with a fellow Vernon Lion to revisit our high school days in Big V and share moments, memories, and milestones that carried us from our Vernon roots to wherever life took us next. These are the real-life journeys of classmates that walked the same halls, cheered under the same Friday night lights, roamed the Lion's Den floor, dragged Wilbarger Street, and watched the same Vernon, Texas sky light up. Our stories always begin in Vernon. Go, Lions! Hey, everybody. It's good to see you all. Today we have Jay Gauldin as our guest. So get ready for a fun, wild, and woolly time. Okay, let's see what Jay's been up to. Jay, you there?
Oh, I'm here, dude.
Hey, you're sideways, man.
Okay, I'm gonna turn you up. At work.
Yeah, that's good. Hey, you said you got
Can
some
you hear me
weather
okay?
coming in? Yeah, I can hear you. Can you
Yeah.
hear me all right?
Yeah, I'm good.
All right, good. All right, it's good to see you, man.
You too, man.
Yeah, it's good to be seen, right?
Yeah, it is good to be seen.
Yeah.
Hey, and by the way, thanks for doing this, by the way.
Oh, sure, you're welcome.
I watched the first two, and just so you know, they're both good. But Kyle was talking about bad people he hung around. I hope he wasn't talking about me, but I kind of think he might have been.
Well, you can work that out with Kyle.
Yeah, you're good, man.
Okay, cool. Well, you ready to get this thing started?
I am. Yes,
Okay,
sir.
cool.
Fire away at me.
All right, Jay. So you're from Vernon, right? You born and raised?
Yeah, born and
Okay.
raised, man.
All right.
Yeah.
So when you think of Vernon High School, uh, what's what are some memories that come back for you?
Well, Ray, I got a lot of memories, but from some strange reason, the one thing that always sticks with me right now, because I've been thinking about it for days, is that when we were all seniors, it seemed like we had these senior parties. You remember that? You remember going
I
to
do.
people's houses and have senior parties, and
Yeah, the lake.
you
Yeah.
you go to the lake, or you go in somebody's backyard, and the parents would have something to eat, and then you might bring a gift, you might not, but
All right.
for some reason that oddly sticks to me, and I know that's probably the strangest thing, but I got a lot. Like I said, I have a lot of memories. I mean, it's going to football games,
Hmm.
going to pep rallies, going to the Lions Den,
Yeah.
hanging out, just hanging out.
Yeah.
I mean, lots of things.
Well, why do you think that memory of senior parties, why do you think that's important for
You,
you?
well, for me, I'm very sentimental. Unfortunately, I don't know
Yeah.
where I get that. I don't know where I get that. I guess I get that from my mom or something. I don't know,
Hmm.
but it's because it was probably the last time I was ever going to get to see a lot of those people that came to the party. I
Hmm.
mean, there was some people which might be the last time I ever get to see them.
Yeah.
And that for me, that was just something that stuck in my mind just because of that alone. Just because, I might not get to see them anymore. That's just it.
Right. Right. That makes a lot of sense. I wasn't even thinking about that back then. I was just trying to have a good time.
Well, right, well, back then, for me back then, I was just thinking about having a good time. But reflecting back on it today,
Yeah.
those things stick to me today because that's probably what I was thinking back then. For me, I mean, that's probably what sticks with me the most. And I know that sounds crazy, and I don't know if everybody's parents did it. I don't really know.
Yeah. Well, I didn't
I
have a
don't. I
senior
don't know.
party.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't really call them a party. You really call them like a get together. Just have a
Yeah.
couple of friends. I mean,
Yeah. I
it's
remember.
just a get together.
I
You
have
remember?
all the uh I have all the invitations in a
Yeah.
scrapbook that I
You
have
know
on.
what? I kept those things for the longest time, and I don't know. When I moved to Tulsa, I kept them in a box and I kept them with my annuals and kept all that stuff. But I don't know if I kept. I don't know if I kept. I don't know if when I moved I finally got rid of them because it's hard to keep that stuff for all these years. I'm
Yeah.
lucky I've kept my annuals all these years. To be honest with you.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
uh so being from Vernon, did you And so you grew up with all these folks. What your first day
Yeah.
of high school, were you scared or did you walk in like a boss or what? What
Oh
was
no. Oh, Ray, it's crazy. I mean, I didn't walk in like a boss for sure. I mean, no, I was scared to death.
yeah?
School just wasn't for me. I don't, maybe people don't remember that. I don't know. School wasn't for me. I hated school. Wasn't good in school. I never felt like I fit in at school, dude. Believe it or
Really?
not, that's the way I felt. Yeah,
Hmm.
seriously, I just didn't feel like I fit in.
Wow.
I
What do
think
you
that, I
think?
think that's probably why I was such a bad. I think it's probably why I was such a bad person because I was outwardly doing things to just destructive to deflect away from school because I mean I was terrible in school, dude. I mean, yeah, and it didn't just start there. It started before that. It started in intermediate,
Mhm.
back in the day. I
Okay.
mean, a lot of people don't realize the things that I went through
Mm.
because I tried to hide it because hanging out with the group of people we hang out with, to me, I don't know why I thought that was so important back then, but it was, and it's the stupidest thing.
Mm.
I
Yeah.
mean, it was just a group of people we hung out with, and I didn't, I wanted to fit in, but I felt like I didn't fit in. I
Yeah.
don't know if that makes sense. I just,
It
I,
makes sense. Yeah. I
I,
wonder
I don't know.
what was it that you said that you said you did some acting out kind of things.
Oh, it was
What,
terrible. I acted
what,
out a lot, dude. I mean, not at school so much. But outside of school, I mean, it
hmm.
was terrible, dude. I mean, like I said, I told you I wasn't gonna say some of the things I did because I could go to jail today probably still for some of that stuff. Believe it or
Uh,
not, I
maybe
was
the
terrible,
maybe the
Ray.
statute of
I was
limitations are
terrible.
out. Well,
I was terrible,
do
dude.
you think that was your reputation? You think other people thought that same way about you, that you were a terrible
Well, I
guy?
don't know. I don't know.
Hmm.
I really don't. I tried to apologize to people if I thought that, you know, if I did something to somebody, I tried to apologize for that. Man, I don't really know what people thought about me. I hate to even ask what people thought about me. But then again, people really didn't know that I had ADHD back in the day. And and
Hmm.
and nobody knew anything about that when we were kids.
Right,
They didn't know how
right,
to they didn't know how to handle it. I mean, until later on in life,
right. You
they
think
just
that's
thought.
the
I mean, I hate to say it. I mean, I hate to say that use the word retarded, but I mean, they put me in a class. They thought I'd put me in there with some. I won't say they're retarded, but they were, it was a special education class.
Mhm.
I mean, how do you think that would make you feel if you weren't, you didn't feel you were that way, but you were stuck with those people,
Right, because of
you
your
know?
ADHD, but it
Yeah.
wasn't
I mean, they didn't.
diagnosed, right? You were
No, it wasn't
undiagnosed.
diagnosed back then. Not at
Right,
all.
right.
No, and that's why I was terrible in school. I mean,
Mm.
and we made fun of people all the time. No matter, I mean, we just did that as kids. And the unfortunate thing, we did do those things. But
Yeah.
looking back on it, man, that's crazy. I mean, I think people laughed at me, and that bothered that had an effect on me all through my life.
Yeah,
Like
really?
I had a hard time dealing with that.
Really? Hmm.
Oh yeah, I would get, and I just now. I mean, not just now, but it took a while to get over that. People would laugh at me. And they didn't mean anything about it, but it was a trigger thing for me because I felt like people were making fun of me. And I
Oh,
hated that, dude. I'd get so mad. Oh, it's crazy, dude.
yeah.
But you can ask some people. I mean, there are certain people I'm not going to name names, and that's fine too. I'm not going to call anybody out because
Right.
I probably did things to people that I probably shouldn't have done either.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm not going to call out. And they weren't doing it to be mean. I think they just thought it was funny too. You
Yeah.
know?
Some of the things that you did that I remember, you could say that I laughed at some things. I didn't see them as hurtful. Just the way you were. I just
No,
saw you
no.
as more jovial, funny kind of guy.
Yeah,
But I
yeah,
didn't.
yeah. People, I was
Yeah.
a jokester. I mean,
Yeah.
seriously, and that's how I deflected away some of the things that for me that I didn't think that it would be accepted around a lot of friends.
Mm.
So I
Okay.
tried not to do it around their parents because then they wouldn't be able to have me to their houses, and I wouldn't be able to hang out with them.
All right. So we,
Which sounds so petty and so stupid, dude.
no, that's I think that's just young and going through whatever you were going through and having to deflect or beat them to the punch, so to speak, if you felt you were being laughed at. So that hey,
Yeah,
they'll laugh with me, and they'll laugh at somebody else if I can do that.
yeah,
That-
sure. I mean. Yeah, there's not a
Okay.
lot of people I've told. There's not a lot of people I've told about that. There's some people I don't. I probably never told you about that kind of stuff. I don't think. I don't know. I don't
I
think
think
I
you may
have.
have mentioned it that we talked a little bit about it, but not in great
Right.
detail because
Yeah. Yeah.
it's surprising to hear that.
Yeah. Well,
Because
sure it is because I mean, people had no idea. Like I said,
right, right,
none.
right,
And it didn't ruin my experience. I mean, I loved high school.
yeah,
I loved, even though I was terrible in school, I mean, I remember we'd get our grades and I'd go home, try to hide my parents. I'm like, I didn't want them to see that, dude.
right,
That my parents didn't, they weren't strict on those kind of things, unfortunately, but it wouldn't have mattered if they would have been strict. I mean,
hmm,
I could have studied as much as, Matthew, think about him. The
hmm,
guy probably didn't have studied anything in his life. It just came to him naturally.
yeah,
And you're probably a little bit the same way too. Where me, it wasn't that way.
hmm,
I could study all night long and come for a test and then be completely,
yeah,
I'd fail the test.
yeah. You
I
just learn
mean,
differently. Yeah. Hmm.
yeah.
But is there any classes that you enjoyed, any activities that you're involved in that you really, hey, I'm really getting pushed towards that because I really have an interest in that.
Well, yeah, I like VOAG.
Yeah.
I mean, FFA or whatever, we call it VOAG. I mean,
Okay.
it's probably the same thing. I mean,
For
I
those
really
listening,
enjoy,
that's
I really,
vocational agriculture. Yeah.
yeah, I
Okay.
mean, but I really enjoyed that because, it was all hands on.
Okay.
And, it was easier for me to do things like that if it was hands on. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
I felt like I was better at it. I could excel at it a little bit. I
Okay.
felt a little bit more in my element.
All
So
right.
that class probably did me a world of good. And then I had, Max Tatum and Effie Todd.
Mm-hmm.
Those guys, they didn't, they didn't get on to me a lot. They didn't,
Mm-hmm.
they kind of made a difference for me, because I probably acted out some. They didn't say a lot to me.
Mm-hmm. What kind of things did you do in VOAG? I didn't
Well,
have VOAG. So.
yeah, well, I mean, we make things like, I don't know who they went to, but we would make these little things out of these tire, out of like a car tire.
Okay.
And then you put like, I don't know, sucker rods or whatever through the bottom of them. And then you
Okay.
might tie them up and then you would pour cement in them. And then they would use those things for feeding cows, maybe we used them at the ag barn. I
Okay.
think Royce, I don't know, remember if, I don't know, Kyle might have said something about that. I mean, I don't know if that was the same place he was talking about, because I don't remember them loading a bunch of hay when I was there. It was just where I
Okay.
showed a pig and, if FFA. So
Okay.
maybe we used them there. I just don't remember that,
All right.
You
So
guys got a lot better memory than I do.
does that require, I assume, a lot of welding and things like that? Is that where you
Yeah,
learn how to
we did
weld?
do some welding. We did. That's actually where I first started learning how to weld, was there, not
Okay.
knowing anything about it at all.
Okay.
It was different, but we get, you remember Ricky Coker?
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he was in there one time. They told us not to cut these 55-gallon drums.
Okay.
And I don't know, you probably heard this story before. I don't know, maybe you haven't, but he was in the shop. I don't remember. I think I was outside the shop. I wasn't in the shop. I was outside the shop. And I think the shop had like maybe plastic deals up top to let that sun come in, natural sun.
Yeah.
Well, he was in there cutting on that thing and it blew up and it blew the freaking glass out of the thing, man. Lucky it didn't kill him, man. So,
Ricky Coker.
yeah.
That's funny.
I mean,
All right. So
so yeah, that's right. I liked ag because if it if it wasn't books, it was easier for me.
yeah, okay,
That's all
hands
I can
on.
say. I can tell
Okay.
you, it's hands on.
That makes
Sure.
perfect sense. Uh, any other activities that you're involved in?
Well, I mean, golf, of course.
Okay.
I mean, look, I got this little deal out for you, Ray. Look,
Oh, what
it's
is
the Vernon
this?
line. It's a line head cover.
Oh, head cover for your golf clubs?
Yeah,
All right.
I don't use it. I've had it for a long time, but yeah, I know golf was good for me because I started golfing at an early age, and it was like I said, sports related things like that were really good for me.
Mhm.
And a lot of people on the team. Vernon didn't have there wasn't a lot of golfers. Golf wasn't popular back then when we were kids.
Right.
It was it was a sissy game back then a little bit.
Mhm.
Not a lot of people played it. Now later in life, it seems like everybody's picking it up, but
Yep.
hung out with Jeff Judd a lot, and
Hmm.
Dale Scott, Robbie Bocart was on the team. I'm sure there's probably a lot of other guys that was on there too, but
I'm sure there were
it
girls on
was
the team
fun.
too, weren't there?
Huh?
Girls
Yeah.
on the team?
Carrie was
Carrie
on the team.
Smoker?
Chris
Yeah.
Smoker, yeah, she was on the team. Lori Bell was on the team. Kathy plays now, but she didn't play back then. So,
Kathy McClellan?
but I just remember back in the day we'd go on those tournaments, man. Those girls would come back on the bus, they'd be in tears because they didn't play good. Of course, me and Jeffrey are destructing the bus, tearing it up. You know how that goes, right?
No, not you guys.
But yeah, I grew. It was the only thing that I played a lot of baseball growing up. I played a lot of baseball, but when I got in high school, my parents said you got to pick one sport. You can't do them all.
Hmm.
And so golf is what I went towards because I was pretty good. I was pretty decent at it. I never brag on myself when it comes to golf because I'm just not that way. I don't like to brag on things like that. I wasn't bad. I wasn't the best. We went to. I want to say we went to state maybe my junior year and my senior year. We went to
Yeah,
state.
I don't even remember
Yeah,
that. Wow.
yeah. We didn't do any good. I don't think when we went to state, but yeah, we did pretty good. Curtis Hanna was on there. My junior year we went to state, and he was always a ball. Him and Sheward, all those guys. I played with Chris Wagner. All those guys were all fun.
Yeah.
And I might have said something about that. Somebody posted something the other day about something. We were on a trip somewhere, and they did the towel deal. I'm like, "What's a towel deal?" I'm like, "Well, it's where you get down the ground and somebody puts a towel on top of your head. One guy's holding it, another guy gets over, he may pull his britches down, he may not. And then he may put his cracker over your face. And
Hmm.
then you're holding that towel down and they let that towel go and you raise up, your face goes into may go into their butt, may not go into their butt. So it was fun.
Yeah,
It was a
sounds
good
like
time.
wonderful fun.
It was,
I don't know that I'd want to be on the golf team, I don't think.
it was all good.
I don't think probably golf is probably not the only place that happened, I'm guessing, right?
Oh no, absolutely not.
Bus rides,
I don't want to let any other stories out, but there's other stories.
All right.
You need to get you some girls on here and talk to some of those girls that went on
Okay.
the
Yeah.
tennis trip. There's where you're gonna get all your stories at,
Okay.
dude.
Okay.
You know,
I'm working on
I
that, trying to
know.
get some balance
Yeah.
here. It's kind of guy heavy, so we want to get some.
Quit going to the guys, go to the girls. They got better
I've
stories
been
than
asking
they
people,
got.
man.
They got better stories than us. There's some of those girls I had no idea that they did the things they did. And
All
I
right.
can't wait to interview them and let's hear some of that stuff.
Well, are you able to talk about things, other activities outside of school during high school, like who you hung out with? What would you do? Like, what's a typical Friday night,
Yeah,
Saturday night?
it's hard. I felt like I had different groups of people though, Ray. It seemed like, I hung out with Boba and Joby a lot and Philip Graff, at
Yeah.
certain times. It just depends which year it was. I hung out with a lot of different people. I remember going to Philip Graff's a lot out there. He had a place across from his parents' house out there,
Yeah.
Towards Lockett, and we'd go across the house over and we'd probably drink a little bit, do things we wasn't supposed to do, but and then we'd go to his house and go down there, stay Friday night down there. He had a pool table downstairs, and his parents did. They had a
Mhm.
bar down there. They didn't. They were pretty cool. They didn't care, man.
Right.
Then we, might go to the lake sometimes with some people. David
Mhm.
Loxton.
Mhm.
He had a deal at the lake. I hung out with a lot of different people and did a lot of different things. We did a lot of racing in the cars. I don't really think. Did you know we raced too much? I remember.
No,
We used to. Oh
I
gosh,
remember
that
before
was a
you had
big
your El
thing.
Camino. What did you have before
I had
that?
that like a 74
Pickup?
model Chevrolet pickup, had a
Yeah.
454. And yeah, we'd race. And, it's crazy. Me and Bubba get on those roads and we'd be racing out there. He'd be in his little Monte Carlo and we'd go like 100 miles an hour down a 2-lane highway, dude. Looking at you going, yeah, you just got his window down. He's like, I'm like, you crazy? You're going to get killed, man.
Yeah, that's some
So,
crazy stuff.
yeah, we did stuff like that. We sneaked over to Altus and go over there and go to Bo Weevils and do stuff over there and stuff that, when we were underage. You know what we did. It was part of the group.
Yeah, I'm
We
just
hang out, go to tennis courts, might be able to write names and stuff. You got to tell your story. I'm not going to tell your story.
well, those stories might come up. I don't know what you're talking about writing your
Yeah.
name. I don't know what you're
Yeah.
talking about.
Yeah.
Look at all them
Uh-huh.
French fries.
I
That's all
bet,
I know.
I bet you don't know.
I don't remember. I've never convicted. Let's put it that way. Never convicted.
Well, no, it was all good. It was all in good fun, man.
Yeah, it was good
you
times.
I've never seen a guy that could rally like you, Ray. Rally Ray.
All right, this is not about
Even
me.
today,
It's not about
probably.
me.
No,
Even
it's
today.
deflected to other people now.
So what did you think life would be like after graduation? You were thinking about this is the last time I'm going to see these people at the senior parties. What did you think life after graduation would be like?
Ray, I had no clue what life after graduation was going to be like for me. I want to say my senior year, I went to the summer months. I didn't hang out burning much at all. Came back on the weekends because I went to Memphis, Texas, because that's where my middle brother Alan went, and he farmed up there, farmed cotton and stuff. So
Hmm.
I went up there and farmed with him during the summertime, and that's where I went after. Well, where I went after school after we graduated. Me and you went to college for a little bit. We could talk about that in a minute, but
Okay.
I didn't really have any idea what I wanted to do with my life at that point in time.
Hmm.
People say, I want to be a lawyer, I want to be a doctor, Matthew, he knew what he wanted to be,
Hmm. Hmm.
so I just think, I'm just lucky I didn't wind up in jail, to be honest with you.
Right.
I was terrible, dude. I'm not lying to you. I'd be lucky to get in heaven. I've asked for forgiveness a lot, hopefully I can get there.
Well, I think God has a lot of grace.
Oh, it's
So
he's got grace. That's what
yeah,
it is, man.
yeah,
He extends a lot of grace to us. So I had no idea what I wanted to be. Did it turn out like I thought it would be? No,
right,
not at all.
right. Well, God
Not
had a
at
plan
all,
for you,
man.
and uh,
Yeah, for sure.
we'll probably talk about this in a minute. So a thought came to my mind, but we'll bring it up. So,
It's okay.
what what part of high school would you say shaped the direction that your life ultimately took? If you think about going
Well,
back,
I would say it's VOAG because
okay.
that's where my welding started. That's where it all. If at our church we do this thing called known, and it's a thing where you sit down with a group of people and you go back a timeline in your life
Mhm.
of how your life is played out, and that's a piece of my part of my puzzle was that
Mhm.
because that's where I first learned how to weld and do cut and torch and do all those things. And like I said, a person with ADHD is not book smart, but good with their hands.
Right.
So that class probably steered me in that way. And then like I said, then I went to Memphis and I worked with my brother. That was after the college stint. We'll get to that in a minute,
Yeah.
but I did some welding there for him,
Hmm.
and then inevitably that's what happened,
Okay.
for
All
me.
right. All right. All right. So graduation. Can you talk about graduation night? Anything going on there besides sirens and
Yeah,
tornadoes and
didn't I set by? I think I sat by you. You're probably scared to sit by me,
Oh yeah,
weren't
we
you?
sat Gauldin and Gerald. We
You're
sat
probably
next to each other.
you're
Yeah.
probably yeah. You're probably scared to sit by me. And I even looked at that
No,
shirt
I
you put
wasn't
up on the
scared.
deal. It's like
Yeah.
my name, your name, right beside you. I know you wouldn't,
I
man.
think Donna Holland. I recall Donna Holland either chastising us or
Probably,
correcting
probably
us
for acting,
because we were talking or doing something silly. I'm
being
sure.
stupid, being
Yeah.
stupid.
Yeah. I
I
remember
think,
that.
I think graduation night. I want to say we went to the lake, but I'm not sure who all it was. Like
Yeah.
I said, it was a group of people. I mean, there was times, I look back on some of the stories that you had that I wasn't around. I don't even know where I was at when. I mean, I don't know what year
Mhm.
that was, and some of the stories I'm like, well, where was I at?
Right.
You know.
Right.
I mean, so there was times I didn't hang out with the group. I mean, we
Sure.
just hung out all together. We were
Right.
all friends and all hung out together at certain times and different times, and that's what worked.
Right. Right.
Nobody got mad at anybody for hanging. Why'd you hang out with that group? Why didn't you hang out with me? Nobody. I don't remember anybody getting mad about that.
Yeah. I can remember going to different churches with people. Like I went to the Church of Christ with you
Did you go with
guys,
David?
with
You go with David?
Skater, with
Skater?
Mickey.
Yeah.
You sit by you. I can remember one
Yeah.
time sitting by Cindy Dennis, and I didn't eat breakfast. I think I spent the night at Skeeter's house or something. And
Your
I
stomach
was
growling?
stomach around like two cats were trying to. I tried to swallow my gum, but that made it worse. I can remember Cindy Dennis kept kind of giving me a elbow every night, like, "What's wrong with you?" type thing. Like, oh, okay,
Yeah.
sorry, I didn't
Yeah.
eat breakfast.
Gum in church is not good for me. I mean, even in church, I was a bad kid. I threw gum in Starlin's hair all the time in church. And who does that kind of crap? I mean, seriously. She
You
had
did.
done that to me. She's over gum and throwing it in her freaking hair.
Oh
Man,
my
how
gosh.
stupid is that, dude? And I had to apologize for that too. I mean, I've tried to make it right with everybody that I thought that I did really bad to. And like I said, she's sweet. She didn't say nothing to me about it. She was fine,
No, that's
you
good.
know?
All right. Well, let's talk about. So we graduate. Uh,
Yeah.
so where did
You
you go to college?
Well, I can't, I don't remember the year, but I mean, I did know the year, but I'm just saying, I don't remember how long we were there. Me and you were at West Texas State. We went to West Texas State together.
Yeah. How did you decide to go
And
there versus anywhere else?
that's the only place I could probably get into, Ray.
Hey, thanks a lot. Hey, a
No,
lot of
no,
people
no,
went
no.
to Baker T.
I'm not talking about that. I'm just talking about, ACT, SAT, whatever it was
Right,
back then. I
right.
mean, I scored probably a 12 on mine or some ridiculous number, you know.
Hmm.
There's a story there too. You have your story, I have my story. And
Right.
and so I go there, we go there, and like I said, I don't remember how long we were there. And dude, I didn't go to class. I didn't even go. I bet I didn't go to class. And I was with this guy. He was going for nursing. He was a lot older than me, and I bet I didn't even go to class none, dude. I don't know how long I was there, and I got called into the counselor's office. It's like he said, "Son," he goes, he said, what are you doing? I said, "I don't know." He said, "Well, your grades are terrible. You're not going to class." He says, "Well, I suggest you stop wasting your parents' money."
Mm.
And as soon as he said that to me, I was like, "All right, I'm out, dude. I'm done."
Yep. I
So,
remember, yeah, I
and
didn't have
then,
a car back then.
yeah, then me and you rode back together.
Yeah.
You had different circumstances, and me and you rode back together, and then after that, I thought, okay, I'll go back home and I'll try to go to VRJC. Well, then I had Frank Grimma and then Bubba and Joby were in my class, and that didn't turn out good for me.
When you
That
say
was
Frank
back.
Grandma, what do you mean? What's
He was one of the instructors out there,
okay,
Frank Grimma.
VRJC, Vernon Regional
Yeah, I
Junior
don't remember
College?
what. Yeah, I don't remember what class it was. I don't remember what he taught, but we were in class. Those two were in class with me, and of course, as usual, I didn't need to be in school, Ray.
Right, right, right.
And so these guys are probably just laughing at me, whatever. And I just get pissed off. To be honest with you, I'm not happy. So I just get up and leave. I walk out and I'm like, I'm done with this crap too.
Hmm.
So that was into my stint with VRJC. I probably didn't last very long at all there. I don't even know how long it was there.
Okay, so that was so
And then,
we graduated in the fall of '82. We go to
yeah. So how long were
WT.
we?
We
When did
left
we
in
come back?
November. We left. We didn't even
Okay.
finish the semester. We
No,
came
dude.
back, and then
Yeah.
I went to VRJ. I had to get a job at
You
United.
pro- you probably went to VRJC the same time I did
I
when you
took
got
it.
back.
Well,
We
I took
started
a
the
one
same.
night class, English,
Yeah.
Miss Sherfacy, Sue
Yeah.
Sherfacy, or something like that. Jody and
Yeah.
I think maybe that was a summer class. Anyway, I
Yeah.
went. I went to VRJC and worked at United. But anyway, so you were. So that I guess that's within the year. So 83 comes in around. Then so when you went to
Yeah.
Memphis, okay.
Then I went to Memphis after that. But believe it or not, dude, I got before I went to Memphis. Somehow, a friend of mine had been in Memphis, and his dad was selling insurance. Now, go figure that.
Okay.
Door to door salesman insurance.
Yeah.
And so I went on this thing to do down in Texas somewhere. It was actually in Austin where it was at, believe it or not.
Okay.
And I don't remember what insurance company it was, but uh, they had to okay, it's back on the thing. You had to memorize a bunch of stuff. There's no way I can memorize all this stuff.
Yeah.
Don't you go in somebody's house and memorize? I said, I'm going home, man. And these people come to my house and said, hey, man, you really need to do this. I'm like, I'm not doing it. So then I left, and that's when I went to Memphis. It
Okay.
was probably in 93, 83 at some time.
Okay.
And I stayed in Memphis with Alan, probably from 83, probably to 85, maybe. And
Okay.
then I went to
You were farming?
I was
Is that what
farming
you were
with
doing?
him farming with him, and then
Okay.
me and him got crossways because I like to drink too much, and he didn't like it. We got crossways, and I still live with. We all lived together up there. It's me, him, and my dad. My dad commuted back and forth for a while because he bought
Okay.
cotton up there.
Right.
Um, and I got crossways with him. Then I quit doing it with him because it just got to be where I didn't want to do it no more. And so I
Mm.
went to a cotton gin, and I worked in a cotton gin, and I was a module driver, which is a thing that hauls cotton around, big truck. And so I worked at the cotton gin and hauled modules,
Oh,
drove all night long.
okay.
And then I finally just got tired of that. And then I went to Amarillo, probably 84, maybe 85. I
All
think
right.
probably 85. And I went to trade school there, Texas State Technical Institute, TSTI.
Yeah.
And that's where I learned how to weld.
Mhm.
And then when I was there, um, they had a couple of classes to go to. It was all on hand. So on hand stuff was really good, like I said before. And then while I was there, I needed a job while I was there because my parents couldn't pay for anything. So I went to UPS and worked seasonal help.
Oh, okay.
And then I did that seasonal help. And then I got called back to there. And so I worked part-time there in the evenings, like from 6 o'clock to like could be late as 10 o'clock at night, 10:30. And then I'd go home and then I'd go to school. And then after I got finished with school, got my certificate, then I went to Hughes Aviation. It was Century Aircraft, and Hughes Aviation bought them out. So I worked full time there after school, and then I worked part time at UPS at nighttime. So
Okay.
I had a full time job and a part time job, and I did
Wow.
that for probably getting close to probably 3 years. And then I was doing a local sort, which I was sorting packages, writing numbers on boxes to let the people put them in the package cars, and then they know where they go. Well, then
Okay.
they moved me up to driving the package car, and I wasn't familiar with Amarillo.
Hmm.
So, but right before I left Century Aircraft or Hughes Aviation, I had seen American Airlines deal. And that was like probably 89.
You mean like a
Probably.
flyer at school or
Yeah, it was an aviation book. It was an aviation book. I didn't know anything. I didn't know anybody at American Airlines. And I just sent my resume in. But I welded in welded school, and I had 3 years experience at Century Aircraft, Hughes Aviation, and didn't think anything about it. It went away, and then I went to work for UPS. I quit Century because they wasn't paying me at $6.50 an hour, dude. But that back then in
it's not bad money
'89,
back
probably wasn't.
then.
It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad,
Yeah, but
but
yeah.
but anyway, so I started driving package cars for UPS, and literally hated it because I did not know Amarillo like I knew Vernon.
Right.
And it
And no
took
GPS back then,
no
folks.
GPS, no GPS, no phones back then.
Yeah.
You turn a corner, the first corner you turn, you hit the curb, all the packages come flying to in the middle of the car. It's like, oh my gosh, how am I going to throw this crap out? So anyway, I didn't really like that. I kept doing it. And then American called me in 90, probably June, April, May, June, probably June of 90. They called me in
Okay.
1990 and said, come down for a welding interview. We'll fly you down here. So
Fort Worth?
I flew yeah. And then there was a couple, I knew a girl in Tulsa because I met her I actually went on a cruise. We went to New Orleans. That wasn't a cruise. We went to New Orleans and stayed with a couple of friends from Memphis. And so I had somebody to stay with, and she took me around to apartments. And so after I took my weld test, I went back home. They called me, left a message on the answering machine, said, hey, you want the job? It's yours. We need to come down. I said, okay, I'll be there.
So
Went back down.
was the interview in Fort Worth, but the job was in Tulsa
No,
or?
it was in Tulsa. It was at the maintenance base
Oh,
here
okay,
in
okay,
Tulsa. Yeah.
okay.
So
All
yeah,
right.
I did that interview. After I did the interview, like I said, they hired me, said, come, we'll fly you back down so you can find a place to live. They gave me a hiring date. That was one of your questions was, I think in the 20s was what's one of the biggest things I've done in my 20s? Well, that was
Hmm.
a huge thing for me
Hmm.
because I knew nobody. I really, I know that girl, but not really anybody else, knew nobody. And that was probably for me, being the loneliest I'd ever been in my life because my mom was, way away from me. My dad, my brother, everybody was away from me. I didn't have any friends.
Hmm.
So that was a big thing for me when back then I left. For me, that was a big deal,
Hmm.
and so that's pretty much the journey. And that's still today, actually,
Hmm.
you
What was
know.
what was life like those first few years with American?
No,
Be-
it was nerve wracking, for
yeah.
because when I first went there, everybody's like, "Are you going to get laid off? You're just a number." And
Mm.
so I worried to death about getting laid off because everybody, "Are you going to get laid off?" And that's all the old guys that would say there at work. "Oh, you're never going to be here, man. You're going to get laid off. You're never going to make it. You're going to get laid off. It's a
Wow.
union job. You're just a number." Which that's true. I am a number. That's fine. I get that. So, but for the first 5 years, I was worried to death about getting laid off, and I didn't have anything to worry about. It was
Hmm.
just me. And why am I worried? Like I've been through a lot worse stuff, but I was worried to death. They said once you get to the 5 years, you probably can make it. You'll be good to go. And I made 5 years, made it on through there. I met Suzanne, the wife, probably, I think I met her in 94. We got married September 11th of 94. We
September
didn't date but
11th?
2 months. Yeah, September the 11th. Unfortunately, we do not celebrate
Hmm.
on September the 11th. We've never have since the 9/11. We never
Hmm.
celebrate. because my birthday's on the 14th, so we normally celebrate both that together. You know, so we dated a couple of months. She loved my mom and dad. I think that's why she really married me, dude.
Yeah.
She'll say it was because of a car.
A
We
car?
made it. Yeah, I had a brand new Honda Accord. It was a really nice car, but she
Uh,
liked the car.
okay.
We met in a tanning salon of all places,
Tanning
which
salon.
is kind of
That
crazy.
you were both,
Tanning
was she
salon.
working there or you were,
She worked. Yeah, she worked
you're a
there, and that's
customer?
and that's how. Yeah, that's how we met. Yeah, believe it or not, yeah, me and another friend went in there and tan. I said, "Man, that girl's hot. I'm going to ask her out." She's really blonde headed back then. She's 6 years younger than me. So she was in her early 20s, dude.
Yeah.
You
She
know,
put
so yeah.
the tanning salon one-liner on her. Is that what you did?
Yeah, no, she would go in there and clean my booth and put candy in there, but it was cool, dude. And even today, that tanning salon is still there after 31 years. It's
Really?
still there. Yeah,
Hmm.
I don't know if it's owned by the same people or not, but I go by there. It's out there by Oral Roberts, where you used to go out by the praying hands out there.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
Praying
not far
hands.
from there.
I've been there many times.
Yeah,
Did
yeah,
so she loved Everett and Quilla, sounds like.
yeah. She loved my mom and dad to death. She didn't get. Let's see, my dad died in 2002.
Hmm.
And so she got 94 to 2002. She got some time with him. Her fondest memory is that when dad would come up here, I think it's before we got married, actually. And we were at a La Fortune golf cart playing a par 3 tournament with my dad. And he was in the car, and she thought it was me, and she put his hand on his leg, and boy, it just made him happy as could be. And she's like, "Oh my gosh." But yeah, she loved my mom and dad to death, man, because she didn't have a real good childhood growing up. Her mom and dad, they got divorced early, and she just didn't have a good relationship. So she didn't know what it was like to have a mom and dad.
Hmm.
So she kind of they kind of took her spot for
Hmm.
her mom and dad.
Right. Okay.
So, but yeah, and married, and then we had our first kid in '98. And then in 2000 had our second one, was the girl, and then in 2002 had our third.
Third.
So that
Okay.
today they're 24, 26, and 28.
Okay.
Around, they're just getting ready to be those ages.
All right.
So yeah,
And you've been in Tulsa this whole time, or the Tulsa area this whole time?
yeah, yeah,
Okay. All
yeah.
with American?
Always with American. Never have, and don't really care to retire today. I say it's like a retirement home out there for me. We go around and sit out, and if they want to. That place is nuts. I don't know how they stay in business, Ray. I mean, for the last 3 months, this is no joke. For the last 3 months,
Yeah.
they make bad decisions, just like we make bad financial decisions sometimes in our life.
Hmm.
They make financial decisions and they overextend themselves, and then they wind up not wanting to do the maintenance. Well, they don't want to lay us off because they can't get the experience back. So we have nothing to do for 3 months.
Okay.
Let's sit around on our butts for 3 months. They'll let you take off work if you want, but no pay. But it's crazy. So why would
Mhm.
I want to retire from a job like that? I mean, I get to do what I want. It's good. I mean, seriously, it's kind of like Kyle. Why is Kyle going to retire? Kyle Witt's
Yeah.
not going to
He loves
retire.
what he's doing and
I love what
have a
I
good
do. I
time.
mean, I
Yeah.
still love to weld, and I
Yeah.
do it. I do it at my house. So
Yeah. All right.
yeah,
Do you do
I
welding
mean,
on the side?
I did. I actually have done some side jobs. When it ain't always been good for me at American. We after 9/11 we took pay cuts 17.5%. And I had
Wow.
3 small children. And it wasn't good. I mean, I had to go find a part-time job to work because Suzanne stayed home with the kids, which
Hmm.
I wanted to do because I didn't want my kids to be in daycare. And
Hmm.
she did that until they got to be older, but it wasn't always easy, trust me. But yeah, I always found, and I will say with welding, even like with Jeff Judd, I mean, I went down to his house a couple of months ago, and I did a welding job for him for a customer. He builds houses, he builds houses
Hmm.
for a living, and she wanted these things welded up, and I welded them for him, and it was pretty good.
Yeah. Very good.
Pretty good.
Pretty
It's
lucrative,
and I
huh?
will say that. I will say that. Kyle touched on that a little bit. About trades and stuff. When I was in '86 and '85, when I went to trade school, really trade school really wasn't a big deal. That the persona was that you had to go to college to be successful. That was one of your questions.
Hmm.
What does success look like to you? Well, success when I was a kid looked like you need to go to college or you're a freaking loser.
Hmm.
And that is the way a lot of the way I felt. But looking back on it, it's like it's probably the best thing that ever happened to me was going to trade school.
Mm-hmm.
And, my wife was very adamant about my kids going to school. Like they got to go to college. I'm like, no, they don't got to go. It caused arguments and a little bit of rough between us. I said, no, they don't got to go to school. They
Right.
don't got to go to college to get a job. There are jobs out there. My oldest son went to BMW school out in Phoenix. BMW sent him out there. They had their own program out there.
Wow.
He went out there. Now that's what he does for a living. He works at BMW dealership in Tulsa. And he's actually in Atlanta going to class right now. He's getting some more certificates.
Mm-hmm.
It was a trade. He was okay in school, but I think he was like me a little bit. So
Okay.
he's got a trade. My youngest are both smart. My youngest he's still going to school right now. He's working at the pharmacy as a pharmacy tech, but he wants to go to med school. And so
Wow.
he's getting ready to he's ready to see if he can take the med school, MCAP, whatever
Yeah.
it's
MCAT.
called, I
Yeah.
think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So he's going
Wow.
to try to get in there. So
Okay.
yeah,
Good.
I mean, it's quite a ride when it comes to that.
Well, was there an event, either whether in high school or after that, where um, childhood ended and you grew up and you said, "It's all on me. It's not on mom and dad anymore." When did you grow up? I know, Jay,
I'm
you've
not
grown
grown up
older.
yet, Ray.
You've grown older, but anyway, when
I'm
did you
not
say
ever
like,
going to grow up, dude. Come
yeah,
on, man. I mean, you still see me. I mean, we hang out together. For me, it goes. And I think it goes back to that deal where I realized when we had those senior parties, I realized then that it's probably it was over with, but not over with, because being in a small town like I mean, we're pretty close still today. A lot of us in the group, a lot of us, I'm still friends with a lot of people still, even outside the core group of
hmm
people we hang
hmm
out with. And, I mean, that's probably when I thought, that's when I thought my childhood, as far as my parents, Ray, I was spoiled. And people know that. I mean, I was spoiled. I mean, for gosh sakes, I mean, whose parents says when they're freshmen in high school, they said pick a sport. Okay, I picked golf. Okay, well, if you go to play golf every day after school, every day, you don't have to get a job while you're in high school for the most part. That's what they told me.
hmm
I mean, really? So I mean, I was spoiled. They spoiled me, and it was a bad thing. It was a bad thing and a good thing for me, but bad because it didn't teach me things. Didn't
hmm
teach me things like I needed to know, like things that you got taught probably. Like you had to get a job when you got back. I didn't. Those things I didn't do.
hmm
Which looking back on it now, there's a lot of things that I lacked from my parents and it's probably a generational thing. You know,
hmm
parents never told me they loved me. I knew they loved me, but they never told me they loved me.
hmm
My mom probably did a little bit, but my dad never did. I never got no affirmation from my parents about, you know, a lot of my anger that I've had through my life probably comes back from that too, is because I was always looking for, affirmation from my parents. Like,
hmm
dang, Jay, that was a great round of golf. Not once did I ever hear that. Well, what does
Right.
a kid do when he doesn't get that? He tries harder and harder and harder. And you can only do so much.
Yeah.
You can
Yeah.
only be so good, and that's it, dude.
Yeah.
And if you're not getting the things from your parents, like, hey man, that's awesome. Great, you pitched a great game. It was great, dude. Or whatever. You're doing great in school. I couldn't get that from school, Ray, so I tried to get it other
Right.
places.
Right. Right.
You probably might have got it in school and everybody else did, but not me,
Mm.
because I sucked at school. Literally sucked. It's terrible. I still think today, I swear to I've told you before, I think I don't think I graduated. I think they lied on my grades. I really do. I
Mm.
had two Englishes my senior year, Ray, because I flunked freshman English.
Mm. Wow.
I
I had no
mean,
idea.
so I had Miss Beebe, early English Miss Beebe.
Wow, I
Yeah.
didn't know that. So, I never would have guessed that it was so at school was that rough. That was rough for you or tough
Oh,
to go to. I had no
and
idea.
I didn't want nobody to know about that.
Yeah. Wow.
The only people that knew that were sitting beside me and in my English class that
Mhm.
knew I sucked at spelling.
Wow.
Those people knew it.
Has that impacted
You
you,
know.
like at work? Like, uh,
Oh yeah, sure. That's all affected me. That's affected my
yeah,
whole life.
yeah. Hmm.
Yeah,
Wow.
I struggle with today still, probably.
Yeah. Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm. Well, so what is what's your biggest, would you say is your biggest either personal or professional milestone,
Well,
accomplishment for you?
of course, moving here, dude. I mean, I always, as a kid growing up or as a young adult growing up, you have your things about what, what what do you want what do you want? I mean, and at a certain age, you probably want different things. But I always thought being successful, I always thought about, okay, I want a great job. I want to get married. I want to have a house with my wife. I want to have kids. Those are the things I feel like that, you know, and unfortunately, I didn't put God in there because God wasn't a part of my life for a long time. I went to church as a kid growing up, and he wasn't, but now he is, but he
Mhm.
wasn't then.
Right.
So, but yeah, for my biggest accomplishment was, for me was moving here. I mean, not a lot of people can say they worked at one place I'll be 36 years this year. Not a lot of people can say they've had a job for 36 years at one place.
Right. That's a big
And I
accomplishment.
never got fired for doing drugs or doing anything bad, Ray.
Well, I think it's, when you say you went to church, I mean, my assumption and my belief is that God was probably planting seeds along the way.
Sure.
You're just
I know,
your lamp was there, it just was pretty either very dim or turned off. You
100%.
just needed to trim the wick a little bit or polish it up so that, God was trying to show you the way
Even
and
still today, he's
yeah,
trying to show me. He's trying to show me the way. Still today, we're all
right.
stuck. I mean, I don't know about you. I'm pretty stubborn. That's
Hmm.
why I keep having these struggles in my life. He's teaching me things,
Hmm.
and it's how you handle those struggles in life.
Right. How do you feel
So,
you've handled those struggles?
some of them good, some of them bad. No, I don't think I've handled them bad. I could be really angry about some of the decisions I made in my life, but
Hmm.
I'm not because it's made me who I am today. Like I don't like some of the like I've had two failed businesses that a lot of people don't know about. I
Hmm.
think you know about one, maybe you don't know about my first one was a
Hmm.
golf shop.
You had a golf
I thought if
shop?
I could do, yeah, if I said if I can do anything, I can make a golf shop work.
Yeah.
So I opened back. It was probably in 2000. I opened a golf shop. It was called Golf Etc. It was a franchise,
Okay.
and they were out of Grapevine, I think. That's where their
Okay.
headquarters was.
All
And I
right.
went in business with a friend of mine at work, which he'll probably never watch this, but never go into business with anybody. I don't think it's a good idea. Personally, I know Kyle. He's probably a fortunate one, and everybody always has different views. Like I wanted to stay open different days and stuff and different times, and he didn't see that, which that's fine. I get. I'm still good friends with him today.
Hmm.
I look back on that. I mean, I put my wife through all that. She's very supportive of that. I didn't get mad about it. I had to file bankruptcy. I'm not gonna lie. That's just part of life. It's what happens.
Hmm.
Then I turn around. I don't know. I moved my brother here a couple of years, 5 years. I don't know how long ago. I moved him here, opened up a pot farm, try to grow pot, which we could do that, but then the rules and regulations were terrible.
Hmm.
Then I to get it to where it was, I saturated my 401k, which was my life savings.
Yeah. Yeah. Hmm.
So could I be angry about that? Yeah, I could be very angry, but I'm not because I'm where I'm at today. I am who I am today because of that.
Hmm. Yeah.
So,
Well, I think I know the answer to this question. When I say, so is there anything, uh, whether in high school or since then, that you would do differently?
ooh, I do differently. I probably wouldn't be mean to people like I was, for sure. I mean, I don't know. I don't know if I would have stuck up for myself more, not knowing the things that I know. Because your question is, if you were going to write yourself a letter, right?
Hmm.
You're going to ask that question eventually, probably too. It's like I don't know. There's not a lot I could do differently, Ray, because unless if I would have known my diagnosis, I would have said, "Hey, man, y'all got any medication for me? I mean, is there some kind of medication you can put me on?" But they didn't have anything. I was just trapped. I was
Yeah.
trapped in this body, and nobody knew.
Wow.
That's all. I don't. There's nothing I could do differently, dude.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
mean, I tried to surround, and Kyle made the statement. Kyle Witt made the statement. You hang around with people, and those are the people you're going to be like. And that is in today's world. That is the same thing too. You don't hang around with godly people. You're not going to be. You're not going to. It's just not. You can have other friends outside of that,
Hmm.
but to be the best version of you, you need to have that. You know.
Amen, brother.
So I mean,
Yeah.
that's just the way it is.
Yeah. It's all right. So let's talk about your parenthood. How has that
Yeah.
changed you? Or
Ooh,
how's that impacted you, given your parents' story, how you were raised,
yeah,
how did you raise your
that's the
children,
thing.
that kind of thing? What was that like?
I was, I was, you know, I was, I that my kids probably said I was a great dad, but I don't think I was. I mean, I love my kids. I told them I love them. I still have a great relationship with my kid. We eat almost every Sunday. We still eat out. They're in the area, but after church on Sundays, we still take them to lunch almost every Sunday. My daughter, not so much because she's got to work, but she gets one day off a month that she can do that. So,
Mhm.
it's a good relationship. As far as having kids for me, that was one of the things. And the thing, you want to have a job, you want to have a house, of
Mhm.
course, the wife, you want to have kids, you want to be successful. It did slow me down a little bit. It did because I was a very hyper person. I am still today. Um, I, it just made me look at things differently, because you don't have just yourself to take care of. You have that individual to take care of. You're responsible for them now. And so you just can't be doing things that you shouldn't be doing. You
Mhm.
know, you've if you if you've committed to have children, then you need to raise those children. And you know, I don't know if I did a great job, but my kids have all turned out good. I still have good relationships with them. Um,
Great.
but there's probably I'm not. I mean, you're always going to look back and go, man, I wish I wouldn't have done that. I was really hard on them, especially my daughter, because I didn't want her to feel like she had to have a guy to take care of her.
Mhm. Hmm. Okay. When you say hard on them in terms of like just discipline or work
Yeah, yeah,
ethic
yeah, yeah,
or
yeah. No, I didn't beat him or nothing like that. But I was just hard on him. I was very stern with him, and thank God my wife, she went to college. She's book smart, so they got a lot from her from that. They
Mhm.
she showed them how to study and to do that because I didn't want them to go through what I went through for
Right,
sure.
right.
So, but yeah, they've turned out good. I mean, I changed it. Like I said, my parents didn't tell me they loved me. They didn't tell me they were proud of me. So I made sure I did that to them.
Mhm.
So I tried to change it for them.
Yeah. Okay. So you kind of
And I know my parents did love me, Ray, just like
sure.
yours loved. Yeah, you know that, but you still need it, dude.
Yeah. I think that's a generational. I'm
It
guessing that's a
is.
generational thing for some
It is.
people.
It is. It is.
Uh,
Sure it is, dude.
what do you think the values or the culture in either VHS or in Vernon, what do you think that had an impact, if it had an impact on you, who you are today, your parenting, your work ethic,
Well,
marriage?
yeah, um, I had a lot of girlfriends. I had a lot of girlfriends, not my girlfriends, but just girlfriends. Like
Friends that were girls?
friends. I mean, I'm still today. I'm still friends with all those girls today for the most
Yeah.
part.
Yeah.
And so by me being able to do that, it was easier for me to do that with my wife because that is another thing that I didn't see growing up. I didn't see my parents show a lot of affection growing up, so it was hard for me to show affection because I didn't know, dude.
Hmm.
But having that, coming from a small town, like Kyle said, you come from a small town, it's totally different. Like it's
Hmm.
just you grow up in a small town and you just see people how they get together. Today, I don't know how the world even exists today, to be honest with you, except for social media and phones and
Right.
everything, I mean, but I got a lot of my values, I think, from that. I did get my values because I know both my mom and dad work, so I knew that I had to work. I mean, even though they didn't force me to work as a kid, I did see that growing up,
Hmm.
and I as far as I might have I know right and wrong. I did a lot of wrong, but I knew that my parents were trustworthy, and I knew that that's what I wanted to be when I grew up. I knew that my parents that neither one of them were dishonest with each other, and they never fought, and so those things I tried to carry on with into my life and
Hmm.
use those things,
Yeah.
the things that I saw anyway. I don't know if that answers the question about small towns or
Yeah.
what values I got out of small towns. I mean, the closeness. It was just being close with everybody for me. I mean, Hey, people are still today are crazy. They think I'm crazy. I go back and do things, and my friends are like, I've not seen one person. I left high school, not seen one person in back to one reunion. I'm like, well, I guess you should have grew up in a small town like me then,
Yeah, yeah.
because we
People
all
people
love
find
each
it
other.
odd.
We all love each other still. I
Yeah,
mean,
people find
today
it
we
odd
still
that
do.
we go back to the reunions that I engage with people that I still interact with that I knew in high
Yeah,
school. They go,
yeah.
you talk to people in high school? My kids think that's strange.
My kids don't. My kids don't because I've done it the whole time. They don't.
No.
My kids don't think that's strange at all.
Well, they think it's
In fact,
strange in terms
my
of
kids
that they don't do it.
yeah, yeah, true,
Yeah.
yeah. Because but Ray, my kids grew up in. I mean, how many kids they had? How many? I don't know,
Like
thousand.
six, yeah,
It's
1,000 kids, 600 kids.
7,000 kids in their class, dude. Would
Yeah,
we have 100 or so? You
100
know, I
some,
mean,
yeah.
it's a big deal. It's a big difference. You know.
It's funny. Yeah. Well, I think of the next question. So so staying in Vernon, but then you came back to Vernon after school and then went to Memphis. Uh,
Yeah.
what about your life, your journey? Do you want people to take away from this, from your life,
Oh.
your experience?
Ooh. Ooh, that's a tough one. Just don't give up.
Don't give up. All right. What was
I
the name
mean,
of that? Sorry, go ahead.
it's just a, you know, I'm just saying, if I could do it, you can do it.
Yeah. Mm. Come a long way, Jay. You're a good man. Would you say your faith had the impact?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you know, it's just, I don't know. It's weird after all these years.
Hmm.
It's crazy.
You got a wonderful wife,
Oh yeah, yeah,
great
yeah.
kids.
I just, you know, I look back on my life. It's like, man, it was difficult, but I wouldn't change it because I am who I am because of that.
Yeah. I think that's what on the surface, what I see is, you know, Jay was fun loving,
Oh yeah,
crazy, wild, good, not realizing
I like to have a good time for
everybody's
sure.
got a story, but if you're with Jay Gauldin, you're gonna have a good time no matter what.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, it might go the wrong way, but you're gonna have a good time. That's for
yeah.
sure.
And so when you talked about you being emotional, uh,
Yeah,
you know,
I'm sorry.
no, that's
That's
good.
just me.
That's real. That's fine. So being, don't give up.
Yeah, I don't. I
Would
just say don't give up because, I mean, if I can do it, trust me, I know anybody can do it. I mean, I didn't have any. I mean, I had a lot of things growing up in my life that might have looked good to other people, but
Mhm.
inside not so much.
Wow. Yeah. I think a lot of us walk around like that with, a different facade and
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And I'm not ashamed of anything. I'm not, I'm not scared to show my emotions at all, dude.
Hmm. That's
It's
great.
just part of who I am.
That's right. Hmm.
You know, I still would say that, if I can do what I've done in my life, there is a place and a purpose for everybody in their life.
Sure. Absolutely.
It really is. I mean, and your faith, you gotta have your faith and just gotta have a lot of different things, man.
Yeah.
If I didn't have that today, Suzanne would tell you the same thing. If we didn't have God in life, we wouldn't be married.
Hmm.
I'd have left her. She'd have left me a long time ago, dude. For
Right.
sure. There's no doubt about it. I mean, I don't see how anybody can do it without it. But
I don't see it.
I'm not looking down on anybody at all, dude. When it
Right.
comes to that, I don't judge people. I don't. That's not me at all.
Hmm.
I live my life the way I want to live my life. You know.
That's good. So this letter that you're writing to yourself,
Yeah.
to that high school Jay, what would you tell him in addition to don't give up?
Well, don't give up. I'd just say, I mean, you know, you I think I'd probably tell myself it's because I really was worried a lot about what people thought about me back then. And I would say that it really doesn't matter. If you could go back and I was just so scared that people were not going to like me. And that's not it. Just be yourself. People are going to like you for who you are.
Hmm.
Don't worry about if you're not smart, if you're not good looking, if whatever. I mean, people are going to like you because they like to be around you. If you're funny, they're going to like to be around you. So don't worry about it so much, and just and life's going to be fine. I mean, it's just going to it's going to go the way it's supposed to go.
Hmm.
And we're not. I'm not. I'm not in control of it anyway.
Right.
You
Exactly.
know,
We
if I
think
could
we
tell
are.
myself, if I could tell myself, you're not in control of it, Jay, life's going to go on, and you're going to be fine,
Mhm.
man, and you're gonna make it. And there was a time I didn't think I was going to make it. I mean, Ray, I don't know why I emphasize so much with that when it comes to people wanting to like me so much. I don't know where. I guess because of my flaws. I don't know. It was weird. It's just a weird thing, and it's not that way today at all for me. I don't it worked. You know what? I'm gonna tell you something. This is really funny, and you'll get a kick out of this. I tell people this at work. It's funny, dude. This is one thing I'll leave you with. So people at work don't know me. They don't know how I was in school. They don't know that I struggled in school. They don't know those things. It's kind of ironic and kind of strange that people will come to me at work, like if they need something, like on the computer, like they need to figure I can't figure out how to do something, they come and ask me. I'm like, do you realize you're asking? Do you know who I am? It's like I'm like, how ironic is that? Because I was always this kid in class that was going, I could find every way in the world to write stuff on my arms, on my shoes, any way I could cheat to try to get a grade.
Wow.
That was me.
Yeah. Hmm.
So
Had no idea. I know we
yeah,
talked a little bit about it, but I think that's
yeah.
great. And I think your story is one that probably resonates with most of us, if not all of us. Like you talked about, we all see it, there are our our faults, being a
Oh,
small, short, glasses, braces, insecure kid, so you just
yeah,
it's
yeah. Hey,
that's not
and
easy.
there's things that I found out today that a friend of mine, I'm not going to name his name, that I had no idea that I would say something to him that affected him terrible
Yeah,
back
triggers
then.
him somehow.
I mean,
Hmm.
yeah, I mean, like there was something that I mean, it's nothing that he did personally. It was something that he, not to give it away, it was in his where he lived. We would say something and it was hurtful to him. I had no
Hmm.
idea. He
Right,
never said it, just like I never told nobody.
right.
you know? And if I would have known that, I would never said that because why would I intentionally? I wouldn't intentionally do that. I
Hmm.
didn't. I mean, I was mean to people, and we had somebody said we were mean to them. I'm like, I don't. I apologize for that too. And if there's something that I want to say to anybody, like you said, one thing that I want to get off my chest, I want to apologize to anybody that I was mean to. I don't. I was a different kid then. I apologize for that kid then. For me today, I apologize for that
Hmm.
if I was mean or did mean things to anybody.
Right.
I apologize for that. I really do, and I really do mean that from the bottom of my heart.
I believe it, and I think that comes across to people, and I think they would forgive you. Hey, I've done some things, I've hurt people, and ask for forgiveness, and uh,
Yep.
that's all you can do. And after that, it's on them, right?
Right.
So,
Yep.
well, Jay, I really appreciate this time. I appreciate your friendship over the years.
Yeah.
We've been friends a
Definitely,
long
dude.
time now. I'm getting emotional. Uh, so
Yeah.
I can still. So I don't know. Oh no, I better not say that story. I think that statute of
Yeah. No,
limitations might
save
not.
your stories for your story, dude.
Okay. But it was coming back when we came back from Amarillo, coming back with our tails
Oh,
between our legs and that first
yeah.
year of college. And uh
Hey, Ray.
I
Look.
I,
Okay.
I want to
Look
tell
how you turned
people,
out. Look how you turned out, dude. I
well,
mean, you turned
people will
out
hear my
great.
story maybe in here in a little bit. We'll
Yeah.
we'll, we'll find out. But
Yeah.
I was sharing with a friend. I said they didn't say your name, but I said
Oh, yeah. I
for
don't care if you
For
say my
Jay,
name.
for you being in high school, I remember being freakishly strong because I always thought he was just tall, skinny kid. I thought
Yeah.
Jay is strong, and I remember you having a great arm. You could throw a ball a mile. Seems like, I just remember that.
Yeah.
So
I
that's
was.
why I was
I
wondering, why
was
didn't you play
actually.
baseball? That's what now
I
you
did play
tell me.
baseball. I
Yeah,
did play
but
baseball.
I mean
I
in
did
high
play
school.
baseball. I started baseball. I won't keep it long, but I started baseball a year earlier than most kids our age because my dad coached. And my dad coached, I could start early. That's not why I was playing with Brent Clifton and those guys, but
Right.
I did, and I will say something, and I'm not bragging, but I don't know what year it was. I wish I could find out. Kathy can probably find out if she watches this, and I wish she would. Is that I pitched a no hitter at one time. Supposedly, I was the one of the youngest pitchers to pitch a no hitter back then in kid league, and
Hmm.
I actually got a letter from Joe Giriola. My parents,
Wow.
somebody must have reached out to him, and I cannot find that letter anywhere, dude.
Really?
Yeah. So yeah, and
Wow.
and Johnny Allen says, he goes, why did you stop playing baseball?
Yeah.
Well, my parents gave me the ultimatum. It's you got to do one sport. You can't do both. You got to do one. And I look back on that. I would have loved to play baseball with Roy and Bubba and
Hmm.
David, all those guys. All those Junior Ritter, all those guys. Do you remember Junior Ritter? All those
Yeah,
guys, dude.
January. Yeah.
Yeah,
And I remember, but you've been playing golf ever since, right?
I've been playing golf since I was 7 years old, dude.
Golf you can take with you. Can't always play baseball.
Well, look, can you see? Look,
The
that's my
Masters, you go,
hell.
yeah.
That's my hit
That's
net,
your
dude.
driving range.
That's my driving range when it's raining outside. Oklahoma, the weather's
Yeah.
crappy too.
Yeah. All right.
So,
That's cool. All
but
right.
yeah.
Well,
Anyway, I love you, Ray, and I appreciate you, man, 100%, dude. I really do.
love you too, man. And I really appreciate your time. Take the time to do this and give my best to
Yep.
Suzanne. And we'll see you
Yeah.
down the road.
We'll
And
see you soon for sure, right?
yeah, we'll see you soon. All right.
Yeah.
Take care, man.
All right.
Thanks,
Love you,
everybody.
brother.
Y'all take
Yeah.
care. Well, thank you so much for joining us on this episode of In a Flash, the Years Go By podcast. If today's conversation reminded you of home, of Lion Pride, or of a chapter in your own life's journey, you're in the right place. Be sure to subscribe, share the episode with another Lion, and keep spreading that Vernon Lion spirit wherever you are. And if you'd like to be a guest or nominate someone with a story worth telling, reach out. We all would love to hear from you. And until next time, remember, Lions, Lions, we back you, says the class of '82.
Goodbye, old friend, until we meet again. May your life be long, may you finish strong, may you remember where you've been. And if we never meet again, till on the other side, you've made me a richer man, having had you in my life. I am blessed to call you friend as the years go by.